Former President Donald Trump's election interference trial began its fourth week, with the judge issuing a warning. CNN reported that Judge Juan Merchan has found Trump in contempt for the 10th time for additional gag order violations and warns that he will put the former president in jail if there are any more. In fact, he says it appears that the $1,000 fines are not serving as a deterrent. Going forward, this court will have to consider a jail sanction. He also says, Mr. Trump, it's important you understand the last thing I want to do is put you in jail. You are the former president of the United States and possibly the next president as well. So let me stop there, right? That's an admission that Trump's position is the very reason he has been allowed to get away with 10 willful violations of court order with what is essentially a slap on the wrist. I mean, for an average person, $1,000 each occurrence, that's a lot. But for Donald Trump, who's an alleged billionaire and gets his, legal fees paid for by his PAC, by the Republican Party, the NRCC, that's nothing. It's nothing. It's less than nothing. He doesn't care if other people's money end up paying for his bills. It's as long as it's not his money. So, yeah, obviously, that is a terrible deterrent because he doesn't care about anyone else but himself. But throwing him in a jail cell, well, now that actually could be effective. Okay, the last thing Donald Trump wants to do is sit in a jail cell. So that said, Merchan is admitting that right now, yes, your political position is why your ass is not sitting in a jail cell right now. Because look, you and I, average people, we would not get away with this. We wouldn't get away with it. No, we would be in jail. That's it. So understand that is a very important layer to this case. All the right-wingers out there that are calling this a two-tiered system of justice right now, they would be correct, but in all the wrong ways. Now, Merchan continues, saying that the magnitude of this decision is not lost on me, but at the end of the day, I have a job to do. So as much as I don't want to impose a jail sanction, once again, very important to note that he's trying everything he can to not throw Trump in jail. Quote, I want you to understand that I will, if necessary and appropriate. At the end of the day, I have a job to do, and part of that job is to protect the dignity of this judicial system. Your continued willful violations of this court's lawful order constitute a direct attack on the rule of law. Well, I mean, that is something that Donald Trump is, at this point, I would think he'd be pretty well known for attacking the rule of law. But understand, from his perspective, he is the law. Even though he's not president anymore, doesn't matter. In his brain, he thinks that he should be in charge of pretty much everything. So now Trump's response to this, by the way, was just to shake his head as they hand him the paper copy of the ruling. My guess here is that, look, I think he's going to try to call the court's bluff, not because he wants to go to jail. Of course, it's the last thing he wants to do. But it's because he's actually convinced that it won't happen, that he'll never go to jail. I mean, during the bank fraud trial, Justice Arthur Engoron kept threatening to do it, but never did. So for someone like Donald Trump, look, if you let them get away with it once, he's going to try it again because he doesn't believe that anyone has the power to stop him. He already believes that he is above the law. That's it. And that he is, by nature of being Donald, or by virtue of being Donald Trump, that he's got to get away with it. That he should get away with it because he's always gotten away with everything in the past. That said, this is why it's important for Merchan, when push comes to shove, be allowed to, or I should say be strong enough to keep order in the court. And if it comes down to it, if Trump has any more violations, to do what he has to do and throw Trump in the jail cell. That's it. And understand, the stakes are so much higher now than it was during the bank fraud trial, which was a civil trial. This is a criminal trial. And if Trump is allowed to threaten witnesses, jurors, court staff, and prosecutors, what do you think kind of precedent that sets for the country's justice system? I understand that right now Engoron is more worried about the politics surrounding this, as well as, of course, the reaction from Trump fans. But I think making sure that you set a good precedent for the justice system and show that, everyone is equal in the eyes of the law, I think it's way more important than the political ramifications of jailing a former president. No one should be above the law.